Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. I think Beryl Flynn, Stephen Flynn, the leader of the SNP group at Westminster, lives a life of delusion. You see, he's got 6 people all around him that have all resigned the party. He's got a 7th that is likely to cross the floor and go to Alabama. He's losing his friends one at a time. And one of these friends in particular, Mhairi Black, he's described her as a rock star. She isn't a rock star. She's not even a barely capable MP. On the very few times she lifts her nose from the whatever powder's on the benches there, she stands up and she makes either an incoherent ramble, or it's just a vitriolic, childlike attack on the opposition. She doesn't say anything sensible or relevant. She doesn't offer solutions or anything like that. It's just childish rant after childish rant, interspersed with ramblings that are incoherent to anyone who hasn't been on the old Colombian marching powder. But he's defending her, and he says that the people who have forced her out are the dregs of society. Well, to be fair, he knows all about the dregs of society. They voted for him and put him in office. But anyway, we'll take a look at this and see what's going on and why Stephen Flynn is just deluded. Here goes. So, Stephen Flynn blames the dregs of society for attacking rock star Mhairi Black. The SNP's leader says his departing deputy is attacked every time she opens her mouth and says something, no matter how good or how relevant it is. And therein lies one of the problems, of course, because anything she says is neither good nor relevant. It is never on point, as it were. And you'd think also she'd learn to keep her mouth shut by now. And there's a picture of her mouth open, looking like a baboon, isn't it? A howler monkey, which quite literally sums her up. She's a howler monkey. Stephen Flynn has said that the dregs of society are responsible for attacking his deputy, Mhairi Black. The firebrand Paisley MP announced this week she will stand down at the general election, much, I think, to the relief of everyone else who is remaining in Parliament. She blamed the toxic culture at the Houses of Parliament for her decision. Well, if you can't stand the heat, love, get out of the kitchen. And finally, she's realised that that is a true statement, and she's getting out of it. Although opposition said it was a further sign of the internal problems in the SNP as the party's warring factions continue to blast away at each other. Oh, the internal fighting in the SNP is over many fronts, and this is the thing. And you can have 2 people taking opposite sides on one policy and attacking, and then they'll be on the same side attacking outwards because of a different policy. And it is just absolutely wonderful to see, because nobody knows who stands for what. I mean, what's your view on any particular subject? They don't have any cohesive policy. Well, they basically don't have any policies. Every policy they've tried to bring in has failed, hasn't it? Anyway, Mr. Flynn, Beryl, who leads the Nats in the Commons, only promoted Miss Black to her current role in December. So she's been at it 6 months and is quitting because it's hard. He said he agreed with her description of Westminster, adding that he found the ancient institution dysfunctional and absurd, and yet there he is. He's not resigning. You know, he might moan about it, but he likes the money. Speaking to the Newsagents podcast, he added, but I guess it's more than that for Mhairi as well. I mean, Mhairi Black opens her mouth and says something, and no matter how good it is or how relevant it is, there's a cohort of the dregs of society who just attack her, and that takes its toll on individuals. So is he calling all the other MPs the dregs of society? Because if he is, that's anti-parliamentarian speech, and he can be hauled up for that. That'd be a shame if that happened, wouldn't it? I'd like to see another SNP hauled up for unparliamentary speech. He said, particularly women have to deal with the brunt of that, and it's not good enough. Society needs to reflect on that, and people need to be sitting up and thinking, why? Now this is the line. Why is one of the most popular faces in the UK, not just Scottish politics, walking away from Westminster? Popular faces? Nobody outside of Westminster or Scottish politics knows who she is. She could walk down the middle of Oxford Street shouting, I'm Mhairi Black, and people would just think she's bonkers. They wouldn't know who she is. How can he possibly describe her as one of the most popular faces in Britain? It's not even a good-looking face, let's be honest. Anyway, he says it's because Westminster is not the place that normal people want to spend their lives. Well, I grant you that, But, you do. You're just now saying that you're not normal. Dearie me, Beryl, get it right. Mr. Flynn, the MP for Aberdeen South. Oh, and so somebody who should be against the closure, you'd think, of the oil fields, and yet strangely voted for it. Hypocritical much? Let's hope the people of Aberdeen South make their feelings felt at the next election. He said he was aware of what Mhairi was intending to do, but insisted her decision had left her a wee bit conflicted because she is such a phenomenal politician. You cannot just say that is true. She is not a phenomenal politician. She does bugger all for her constituents, and the only time she gets up in Parliament is to whinge or moan. She does not contribute to anything. There is nothing good that comes out of that woman's mouth. She was the youngest MP at the time, and everyone was going, oh, how marvellous, young, and completely inexperienced. And she is completely out of her depth. She lacks any kind of forensic mind. She cannot think on her feet. And she just always resorts to insults and mudslinging and never ever comes up with any cohesive argument or process. Anyway, he said Mhairi, when it comes to politics, is a rock star. No, she's not. She really isn't. She's barely functional. And her ability to connect with the public, I think, is unmatched. Connect with the public? No, she's so far removed from the public. She doesn't attend anything. She doesn't do anything. She's just lazy. Anyway, she said, but on a personal level, I'm actually really happy for her because she's been through a lot, and I want the people that I like and I know to be happy in life. And I genuinely think she's going to be a happier person not being in Westminster. And to be fair, all her constituents are going to be happier people because she's not at Westminster. So, hey, everybody wins. Certainly the people in Westminster are going to be happy that she's not going to be at Westminster. Miss Black is the 6th MP to an SNP MP to announce that they would not be contesting the next election, which I've mentioned, following ex-party Douglas Chapman, Stuart Hosey, Peter Grant, Angela Crawley and Mr Flynn's predecessor Ian Blackford. I've heard that there's a 24-hour Greggs opening somewhere in Kent. I'm wondering if that had anything to do with Blackford's decision. He can just sit there all day, can't he? Just putting the old sausage rolls in. Anyway, he said he would not be joining the departures and insisted, I want to continue for now because I like the money and because we've got a big challenge on our hands. The biggest challenge you've got on your hands is making sure that the SNP still exists within a year. You may not have an option. He said there's been well-documented issues within the party. Yes, there is. And where there is a challenge, there's an opportunity. And I see an opportunity for us to really drive home that journey to independence. Not a chance, mate, and not while your party is so riven with factional infighting. He says, but you know what attracts me to being that person who walks past the statues outside the chamber as SNP MPs leave, then depart Westminster for good. He said that's a big motivating factor for me, but of course the personal challenges we all face are tough. The biggest thing for him is to get his nose in the trough, into the cash trough. Whereas Mhairi Black likes to get her nose into something far, far smaller. Mhairi has just decided it's better for her to not be there. And that's fine, because a lot of people, I'm sure, up and down the entire UK, indeed, will be thinking exactly the same thing. That it's much better that she's not there. Anyway, she can spend more time with her little powder, and I can wish her farewell, but not quick enough, eh? Why don't you go now, Mhairi? Or are you just still taking the money and holding on for the pension? Anyway, I shall stop there and come up. Now you may be wondering why I keep alluding to the old Colombian marching powder with Mhairi Black. She was very famously seen rubbing white powder onto her gums in Parliament. She later claimed, of course, she was eating a Kit Kat. And I believe her. After all, that's how we all eat Kit Kats, isn't it? We crumble it into a very fine white powder and then rub it on our gums. But then she's always had nasal problems. We've got this very famous picture. And there we go. There she is. Up to the third knuckle. Give me a wave when you get to the bridge. What's she doing? Is she merely removing a particularly sticky bogey? Or is there perhaps a little bit of Kit Kat stuck up there that's irritating her? Who knows? Anyway, I shall finish there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and hey kids, remember, if you are going to shove a Kit Kat up your nose, 2 fingers are better than 4. Bye.